My dear Toastmasters, guests, and friends, welcome to Toastmasters, the world's biggest platform to hone your leadership skills and communication skills. Toastmasters, where leaders are made, not just leaders, confident leaders, not just speakers, confident speakers. I am Veera Sriram, your public relations manager, and I welcome you to Open Heart with District 31. On our talk show, on this episode, I have my close friend who is a proud member of Toast Wizards, a member who has been an area director, a Toastmaster, who has also helped with speech crafts in our district. Without any further ado, let me welcome my good friend, Toastmaster Mike Mateo, onto our talk show. Toastmaster Mike, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Vera. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on our talk show. Toastmaster Mike, I ask all my guests this one question. Your Toastmasters journey. Where did it start? How did it start? Would you like to share about that?
Sure, I'd love to. My Toastmasters journey began back in 2014 when I attended a sample Toastmasters meeting at our uh, club at Raytheon BBN Technologies. I remember going to that meeting feeling very welcomed, and I was impressed by how well it was organized and how well it was run. And it got me thinking about my own personal experiences, my speaking abilities, and my leadership skills. And it was time for me to do something about my fear of public speaking. And it was a fear that first appeared back in high school when I was running for class treasurer and I had to give an election speech. And I did not know how to give a speech at the time. And I found myself, I think, quoting Shakespeare. And I soon realized that I wasn't connecting with the students in the class, and I couldn't get off the stage quickly enough. um, and ever since then, I become soft-spoken, behind-the-scenes kind of guy. And I think it was time for me to now do something about that to improve both professionally and personally. So I joined Toastmasters and became a founding member of our Toast Wizards Club at our company. And when we started, we didn't have pathways. We were still using the printed manuals. We had the competent communicator manual, or CC, the competent leader, or CL manual. And I was still hesitant at first giving speeches. But then I discovered the Toastmasters mentoring program. I started working with a mentor, giving more speeches, and I was eventually able to complete my CC and CL in about 3 years. So it took a little while, but it was well worth it. And I also completed my Advanced Communicator Bronze Award at the time, or ACB. So that led to my first Triple Crown Award that program year. And it was something, I appreciated very much. And along the way, I, worked on my leadership skills as well. I held various club positions, including club president. As you mentioned, I served as area director a couple of years ago, and also as a speechcraft coordinator, where I learned a lot of valuable skills. And since then, we've been introduced to pathways. I've completed 2 paths, team collaboration and dynamic leadership, and earned a Pathfinders Award along the way as well. And I'm working on my 3rd path, presentation mastery, currently. So I'm continuing my Toastmasters journey, working towards my Distinguished Toastmaster DTM Award, and hope to complete that within the next program year.
Unbelievable 10 years journey. I think it's truly well rewarding. Thank you for sharing your journey, Toastmaster Mike. Now, the impact of Toastmasters on your personal life, professional life, social life, spiritual life. Would like to talk about the impact that it had.
Sure. Toastmasters has helped me extremely well in my both personal and professional careers. First, professionally, I'm able to give better presentations, technical presentations. I learned how to interact with our customer, which is very important. Personally, outside of Toastmasters or outside of work, I'm involved with a couple of youth organizations, the Scouts, BSA, Boy Scouts troop in our local town, and First Robotics school teams that my son wasn't part of. But the skills I learned through Toastmasters has helped me to communicate and connect with the students, the scouts, and a lot of the adult leaders in the troop as well. So I owe a lot to Toastmasters.
Thank you for sharing that, Toastmaster Mike, and thank you for working with young leaders. I hope you can introduce them to youth leadership program. I think they will really enjoy that. But thank you for all the hard work working with our young leaders. Toastmaster Mike, now I'll switch gears and ask you what are the two reasons that come to your mind that you want to share with the guests watching our talk show? Why should they consider Toastmasters in your view?
Well, I feel everyone's got their own personal reasons why they should join Toastmasters. For me, again, it was to overcome that fear of public speaking. But I found Toastmasters to be a very safe, supported environment where you can practice speeches, speaking skills, leadership skills. And for another reason, it was the networking. I got to experience meeting other members and in different departments within the company. So that whole social aspect you experience. And one of the reasons I joined and also continue to join is because of the bonds and the friendships I've learned or developed with a lot of the members in the club. After hearing a lot of their stories and speeches, you get to know a lot about people as well.
That's a valuable point. It is confidence with camaraderie and also developing skills. Thank you for sharing that, Toastmaster Mike. Now, we move to our fourth segment, which is called the rapid fire round. Are you ready for some fun, Toastmaster Mike?
I'll do my best.
Sounds good. A historic leader that inspires you a lot, Toastmaster Mike. Any leader that comes to mind?
I don't know a leader per se. I know there's some quotes that have come that I've learned from some leaders in college. There was a quote I learned from Calvin Coolidge about persistence. See if I remember this. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. The world. There's nothing more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. And education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. So persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. That's kind of a quote that inspired me and it's kind of helped me along the way throughout my years. So yeah, Calvin Coolidge, I guess, would be a leader that I remember.
So beautiful, Toastmaster Mike. And it's so amazing that you remember the words. It is of hope, it is of persistence. I think that anyone can do it kind of attitude. Thank you for sharing that. Now, a historic speech that is very close to your heart. Any speech that comes to mind?
Um, Nothing per se. I know
Okay.
I'm big technically. I know it was Armstrong's speech when he landed on the moon. When one small step for man, one giant step for mankind. I think is a great thing to live by.
Amazing. Really nice quote there. Your personal speech, when you written it, when you practiced it, when you delivered it, when you got the feedback, you felt you get the best job. Any speech that comes to mind?
I actually gave a speech on persistence. It was a very personal speech. I did it for a club contest at the time, and it kind of talked about my own personal struggles with like depression and stuff. But again, with persistence, the way I overcome that and continue to press on and move forward, I think is very inspiring. A lot of the feedback I got was positive as well.
Thank you for sharing that, Toastmaster Mike. Now, a book recommendation. I saw that you have a huge collection of books behind you. Any
Uh,
book that you like to recommend?
I did have I recently just finished one. It was regarding our company at Raytheon BBA Technology. It was called Where's This Work? It's about the history of the ARPANET or internet and how it was developed and how BBM played a role in that, developing the first email, and the person that used the @ symbol in the email worked for BBN. And I found that book very interesting to learn the history of how the internet started. I think was very worth the read, I believe.
Amazing. And it is so, I mean, would be so happy that you work in a company which invented the email. That is pretty cool. Thank you,
Yeah.
Toastmaster Mike. Now, a food that is very close to your palate. Any food that comes to mind, Toastmaster Mike?
Well, I just got back from Alaska. I love seafood. You know, we went to a crab fest during our cruise. So it was very, appetizing and eating the first the Dungeness crab, these big crabs. Um, so seafood would be one thing. Another thing that comes to mind is a Filipino dish that I grew up with that my mom used to make was called a chicken adobo. It was the chicken, sauteed in some soy sauce, vinegar, and serve that over rice. It was a traditional Filipino dish that reminds me of my mom a lot, and I love to have that once in a while.
Your description brings water to my mouth, but thank you for sharing that. Now, a restaurant that you like to suggest us in Canton or around Boston that has great Philippine food or great Alaskan food.
Well, it's tough. There's not too many Filipino restaurants that I know of. My parents used to own one years ago, but they don't anymore. Um, Trying to think of some good restaurants that in Canton that we go to. Um, I don't know. There's a local CF McCarthy's that I go that's in town. They have great food and craft beers if you're into some of that. But it's a local restaurant that I like to go to.
Thank you for sharing that, Toastmaster Mike. That is unbelievable. This wraps up our rapid fire round. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our District 31 audience?
No, my journey again has been very rewarding. I'm happy to be part of it, and hope to continue, serving as I can. I think some goals I have this year is to help, accomplish or finish my DTM, and I think I'm planning on being a club mentor to one of the new clubs this year, and I'm looking forward to starting that next month. So happy to help in any way I can.
I like the passion, dear Toastmasters. If you are a veteran Toastmaster like Toastmaster Mike, please consider starting a new club. That is a sign of growth, and we need growth in our district. Bring new Toastmasters in, then the whole system works. We have new contestants, contesting speech contests, mentors have a work to mentee, and as Toastmaster Mike is going to be a club mentor, you can also experience all those wonderful roles that Toastmaster has to offer. Thank you, Toastmaster Mike. It was a pleasure talking to you. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you choose to come down and talk to us. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
My pleasure, Vera. Thank you again for having me.
Thank you. Dear Toastmasters, that wraps up our interview with Toastmaster Mike. If you would like to come and talk to us, please do mention your name in our comment section. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy the summer. Stay safe. Until our next episode. Bye-bye.